You're thinking of marrying someone older than you. My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and I'd like to share some of the experiences that I have had with couples where there was an age gap. And I'm not talking about 1, 2, or 3 years in either direction, because as you get older, that gap gets so small. In your 20s, maybe it feels like, for instance, he's an older man or an older woman if you're like 22 and they're 25. But that gap really narrows. As we get older, there's sort of a percentage. So I'm really going to address they call it the June-January, they used to call it the June-January marriages, where one is 15, 20 years, even 25 years difference. And try to bear in mind something that's very important. That is that we are essentially souls. We've been traveling in different worlds together for eons. There is no beginning and there is no end for a soul. We're part of God. But while we're here in this world, the things that appear big sometimes frighten us, and we wonder what's going to happen. So you already know where I'm going with this. If you've met your soulmate and there's a big age difference, it just doesn't make any difference. And I have worked with couples where the age difference was very great, and in both directions. There was one man and woman who I worked with, and she was almost 30 years older than him. And you know what? He actually passed away, and she's still living. But they were soulmates. Now, their children, when they got together, were already grown, pretty much. There was a daughter when they first got married who was early teens, but it was fine because he could relate to her. Actually, there was a benefit. Now, so there's a practical aspect too. So the soul aspect, there just isn't any problem. And then, because when you connect as a soul, it transcends time. You're not aware of this age difference when you're in each other's arms. If you are, and remember, I don't pass any judgments here. People ask strange questions like, well, how does it feel to make love to someone who's so much older than you or so much younger than you, whatever the case may be? If you're connected as souls, then you're connected on a plane of love, and you just don't notice the age. The mundane world, when it comes to marriage, is nearly irrelevant. And if it's not, it means that you're not doing your marriage correctly. So it's really important to learn as much as you can about marriage, because there's sort of a pyramid. The basis, the very basis for your marriage is love. And in that love, which is a very spiritual ideal, love is not a spiritual idea because it's real. It's a spiritual ideal. We're all striving to experience unconditional love because we want the happiness that we intuitively know comes from that. That's where your marriage has to be in order to be successful regardless of the ages. But then there's the mundane side. It's very difficult, but it can be done when older men in particular start a relationship with a much younger woman who wants to have a child, and he's, say, in his 70s or even older. He's still capable of producing children, but his relationship with his children will be much different than if he were younger. His patience will be much different. So the children in the mundane aspect of marriage should truly be taken into consideration and talked through. If there is no more desire for children, it doesn't make any difference. So those are the two parts to this, the mundane and the spiritual. And remember, the spiritual is much more important, but the mundane has importance as well. So many cultures are very different than Western culture. In Western culture, some people are very judgmental. In other cultures, it doesn't matter. They get the love part. They get the love part. And you should too, if you really want to have a fantastic marriage. And don't forget what marriage is all about. It's all about learning to achieve unconditional love and having more happiness every single day of your marriage. More happiness, deeper love, and that's what it's all about, not age. So I hope you enjoyed this. You could subscribe. You could write into our counselors. It's a free service. And I hope this works for you. So blessings to you. And I'm sure everything will be fine if you're focused on love. Okay, God bless and take care.